Let's go. I'm Christopher Pitt, and welcome to the Pursuit to Own podcast. At Pursuit to Own, we are pursuing ownership at every level of life. Whether it's mindset, business, life, or real estate, our goal is to get you from renting to owning your future. See, I felt the pain of poverty growing up as a sharecropper in zip code 27843. I understand the struggle of living in a one-bedroom shack, owning nothing, not even running water. But I turned that pain into purpose by becoming a premier affordable housing community developer, providing 27,843 ownership opportunities in marginalized communities. Here's the truth. Ownership starts in your mind, regardless of your situation or location. Whether you are escaping the poverty trap, buying a home, or starting a business, the pursuit to own mindset is the key to unlocking your zip code and success. Join me to discuss new innovative ways to own real estate with tokenization, blockchain, crowdfunding, fractional ownership, and so much more. Let's go. Welcome back to Pursuit to Own with the Purpose Developer. The math is not mathing, people. The math is not mathing. What do I mean by that? Look, I'm in these streets every single day for the last 20 years trying to create homeowners. That's right, not assist, create them, right? And what I'm seeing with this trajectory of how long it takes them to save enough money for a home, how long it takes them to get approved, how long it takes them to get some kind of job training, the math ain't mathing in the AI frontier. That's why I need people to understand. I'm bringing this up because we have got to put a sense of urgency around what we're doing. We have got to, right? I'm speaking to the first generational people. Why? Because this is going to be one of those moments in time that you can be first generational and doing something that you literally built. Like you did it. You drove the car. Like we're going into a time where a lot of the things we're doing now is just not going to happen. That's just the truth. Somebody got to tell you the truth. Why am I so worried about it? It's because it's not per se me. I have kids. I have kids. What do I tell them? How does my daughter make money in the future? Why is that important? Because as always, financial is not just money, it's freedom. When you have the ability to have resources to be able to live a life without the everyday constraints, that's freedom, right? We're going to move into a path where it's inevitable the turmoil that will happen with AI. Again, if somebody don't shoot you straight, we're never going to get there. Because I see myself in all of you I'm talking to you today, right? I'm talking first generational people that have lived the dream of I bought a home for the first time. This is the greatest asset, wealth creator I've ever had. Is that still a wealth creator 5 years from now? Better question is, how do we keep it as a wealth creator 5 years from now? That is what Pursuit to Own is tackling right now in this marketplace. I had to really pivot from everything I'm doing because the problem I'm solving is approaching too fast. When I say approaching too fast, that means it is happening faster than any other solution is going to be in place to help you, and you, right? The everyday hardworking person. I'm talking about that person that get up, go to work every day to support their family. The person that can go and a flat tire happens and it just derailed their life. The person that if they have a bad day at work and they lose their job, it is catastrophic for their entire family, not just for them. I'm talking about those people, right? Right? We're talking about the missing middle. We're talking about hard-working people. I'm worried. Right? Because that's where I come from. And what I'm seeing right now is you don't have the same urgency that you need to have than I got, right? For you. I have more urgency than you. That's a problem. That's the problem. Now, I could easily fold ship, just think about me, and just try to, get through this and just make it a financial move and just try to do real estate in general, try to do home ownership that only benefit me. But that's not who I am. That's not the purpose developed. You know what's, here's the thing. That's who is not who I am. And in this moment, this is what makes me stand out because I've lived without nothing. I went through a huge shift, right? I know what it feels like to be left behind, right? I've been fighting my whole life from behind. I'm built for this. Are you? I'm built for it. Are you? Some of you are not built for it. And as I stated before, if your identity is trapped in one of these industries, when that industry is no longer there, who are you? Who are you? This is a question we all are going to be asking ourselves. And it's not because anyone is a bad person. It's just a reality, right? I see it everywhere I go. It happened to me. When I work in big organizations, right? When I walk into a building, it's so much respect because they're not looking at Christopher Pitt. They're looking who I represent, this billion-dollar organization behind them. I need to build a relationship with him so we can, maneuver and make deals that work for our company, right? So they see me as a very valuable person in that moment. I take myself out of that billion-dollar organization, same person, same knowledge, put myself in my own business, pursuit on, can't get the same phone call, don't have the same relationship, don't have the same interest. Why? It's the thing that's behind you. They only see through you to where you are. It's not you. I promise you, it's not you. Whether you like it or not, it's who you represent. It's who you represent. I've lived it. I know exactly what that feels like. I've been in a situation because I told you, I am a believer in, especially now, keep that job as long as you can because they're leaving anyway. If you're thinking about leaving, don't. You better figure out a way to leverage your job right now to figure out a way to create income in the future for you. Now, we're going to talk through some strategy at Pursuit to Own. I advise you to be a part of this community because we're going to take care of our community. That's right. We're not, it's time to go. We're back at hunting and gathering. That's what we're doing. We're taking it back old school. Like, we have to go and defend for ourselves. But what I was driving at is, it is people that their only existence, they only know themselves as the company they represent that has fed them. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's before that was such a prideful thing, right? Because that company knowing would take care of you. You've been there for that long, that company take care of you. Not today, right? So the question we all got to ask ourselves, who are you? If you're working for a job, who are you? Without that job, right? What I was trying to allude to, I've always worked a job and built my company, right? Why? Because that's the only way I have the ability to fail forward. Like most of these startups can start, they go out, they can go get money from some place and they have all these burn rate losses. Well, I had to self-fund. So the only way I can do that is I continue my job, continue making money outside so I can try to fund through the felon, right? You got to fund through the felon to be successful. That's what I did. But real life, I will be in this setting from this organization that I work for. I am top tier. The way people look at me, they respected me. Go above and beyond to make sure they can be in contact with me, right? But I can go right, put my other hat on, Pursuit to Own hat, boop, here we are. Same guy, can't get a call back. Can't get a call. And they're confused. Like, oh, okay. But that taught me a very valuable lesson. Right then I knew they are not looking at you, they're looking through you. Right? So looking through, if your identity is in the industry, you need to look in the mirror again. Because everybody is going to have to reskill one way or another. It's no way out of it. So if it's no way out of it, we have to go. If you're on the ones hiding out and thinking this is not going to happen to you, it's not going to be good. Just say that, right? You have got to understand where we're at. And you don't have to take any of this from me. Do your own research by all means. Well, this is just a public announcement because what I'm doing is building a community because I believe going forward, business is going to have to flip from solopreneur, sole owners to we really have to come up with some community based group economics. I know that word has been tossed around a lot, but now I think we're forced to actually do it. And that's the thing about pain. Pain forces you to do the right thing, right? Because you have to, right? All of the fluff is leaving. It's all this fluff, funding for this, funding for that. How can you fund something if the person you're funding cannot survive, right? Give you a great example. I recently did a community 2-block development. I spent months recruiting people from the community to be homeowners because I care that much. Everybody told me I was crazy. You shouldn't do it, because most time, right? They're right. Nobody wants to spend time, but I do, right? It's a little different. That little purpose I'm telling you about. But one of the most disappointing moments for me in this entire year has been not seeing one person able to qualify for a mortgage when I tried to hold the price down, when I tried to give them an early look before list. I did everything. I gave the community the first opportunity. And you know what the result was? Donut. And that got me thinking. Because again, it wasn't that the people didn't want it. They couldn't afford it. And I had some of the lowest prices in the market. So if we're building a system and we're training people, we're educating, we're counseling people, and they still can't afford it, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're wasting time. That's what we're doing. If you cannot achieve the outcome, if it's no outcome achievable, you're wasting your time. It's not a time in kind of thing, right? This is not, if I'm just in a home buying course for 10 years and eventually I'll become a homeowner. It doesn't work like that. Telling you now, people better get used to sacrificing. People better get used to saying no. And people better get used to plowing forward when no one else believes in you, right? You have to be bred without belief. This is that time, because right now it is so many things that, and again, part of this is astonished. I'm astonished about some of the stuff I'm seeing from a technology standpoint, the speed, because I look at it as every time I do something, that's just another person. That's another billable hour, right? For somebody that just lost it, right? AI employees, just think about this concept. AI employees. What? You pay a fee? A little membership fee for chat or something like that? No overtime, no insurance, no nothing. No, you don't have to buy them coffee, nothing. How do you compete with that, man? How do you compete with that? And the part I don't get is people are putting in billions. I'm talking about the top companies in the world are putting billions into making AI smarter and better than any human that ever exists. And I think they're already close at that right now. They're close right now. And they say this is the early start. Why do they say that? Because this stuff is going to compound more than you have ever seen in your entire life. I bring all this up because, again, my industry is real estate. And I'm always thinking about how this is going to impact real estate. How this is going to impact homeowners. See, they always start with the efficiencies from a company level, which is always great, because what does that mean? If I can do this more efficiently, I create more revenue. I create more profit to the shareholders. Always going to be applauded. I don't care what company, what industry, doesn't matter. When you can do that, that is a great business decision. The problem with that is you got to have an end user to buy your product, right? You got to have an end user that is still financially capable to buy your product in order for your company to survive. See where I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going with this? Because if you're seeing in today's market, I did the math, close to 50 million people that I would consider either underserved or non-served first-time home buyers. Close to 50 million, right? Meaning that they just as close don't have enough, can't qualify for any kind of, you know, support, make too much for that, but don't make enough to qualify without it. Like that group of the missing middle, right? It's a lot of them, right? It's a lot of them. If you don't have a end user, how do you create revenue? That's the part I'm just trying to get my head around, right? Because in real estate, the only way you're going to get the only way that house becomes valuable is because it is a market price, and the market price is by demand, right? If people are coming in and more people are getting attracted for whatever reason, is there great organizations there? Is there great just great living there? Whatever they're coming there for, that's what creates the demand. So if jobs are currently cutting back, not really posting jobs anymore, more and more people just naturally, because you can't see it yet, just natural attrition, just not getting jobs, right? Eventually that spills over. So if you play this out and you're thinking, well, how do I sell houses to people that struggle already to get to the point to buy houses if their future look even shakier now than it did 10 years ago? Because here's a better question. A person that making 100,000, 200,000, and some of these jobs, their future even more shakier than the ones we're describing at the bottom of the bracket, right? Because they're in that no turnaround space, right? You have made so much money and have a statue that you don't know how to survive without it. It's one thing to go without something in life, but man, it's another thing when you have something that is taken away from you. Now that, my friend, is a problem, right? People can adapt if they never had it, right? Because you don't know what you miss. But if you're saying you're a person that you have worked, you are, you're emerging. The big clip was 100,000. You're 150,000. You walked around. You were able to take a few trips. What happened when that opportunity is not there for that person? Because a lot of things happen mentally at that point, right? First, you got to go through the stage of you're going to act like nothing is going to happen, right? Nothing is going on here. Everything is going to be fine. That's your innate ability. Okay, that's what you're trained to do. Because before, if you change job, whatever, you got a job pretty quickly. That's going to be your first thought. Now we'll get through it. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll tap into a little savings. We're good. But at some point, this duration is going to get longer and longer. Longer and longer. And then panic is going to come in. Because I'm going to give you a great analogy. Again, from a football perspective, right? Had great aspirations of being in the NFL, but some days, got, a cup of coffee, as they say. But some days I'm grateful I didn't make it. Like some days I'm grateful I didn't make it. Because here's why. You give somebody, anybody, but we're talking about young athletes, but it could be anybody. You give someone a job or a ability to make $1 million, $2 million, and that's what they're accustomed to. My friend, when that $1 million job goes away, that person can't stare in the mirror and go down and take a $75,000 job or a $100,000 job, which regular people would think is a good starting spot, a phenomenal starting spot for most. I mean, $100,000, people would think, they have made it. To that person, that's poverty. To that person, it's poverty. So instead of doing what you should do, what do you have to do? You fake it again, you make it, and then it goes down out of control, and they have no way out because the money they made was manual, based on what they can do physically. And now you can't do that anymore. You have to use this. That's a different game. Now, I'll give you a great example of this, right? Again, experience math. I lived through this stuff, right? I missed that NFL cliff. I did. But let me tell you what I didn't miss. 2008. 2008, I was in Florida. We had 3 or 4 branches. A lot of people working for us. We was building. We was doing everything you can imagine. It was one of the most greatest moments of my life. I'm like living in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm thinking, how did a kid from a rural country town in North Carolina get to Boca Raton, Florida? Like, just seeing my family come and seeing the smile on my mom's face, just seeing just the people that would just come there and realize that somebody they know or somebody in their family actually made it, right? Without the NFL, right? We never seen that. We never seen that growing up. And let me tell you something. 2008 happened. That was my NFL moment because I pretty much lost everything, just like the millions of other people. And that was one of the most humiliating years of my life. 2 years to be to be truthful. No matter how much effort I put in, I couldn't stop what was happening financially. Values was going down. Homes had to be short. So it was one of the most embarrassing times and stressful times of my life. But let me tell you what made me different. Because at some point, once I shed all of that, shame, right? I had to get the shame of, oh my God, I thought I made it and I'm imposter and like, oh my God, I'm back poor, like all that stuff. Once I shed that feeling and I realized I'm back at zero, matter of fact, below zero. Once I realized that, my friend, that is when I actually became the person you're seeing today, because I took that pain and made it purpose. Because you know why I survived? Because I was born with nothing, right? My childhood was about a bunch of surviving on very little. So I knew that could kick in. And that's exactly what it did, right? What I did was trying to find a situation where someone was doing worse than me, and that would give me a little more courage each day, a little more courage to come out and be me. I took a job for money that people probably can make at McDonald's right now, just to restart my career, right? Because I had to think out 10 years at that moment. That was one of those moments. But people are not going to be ready to do that. And even at that time, I'm not faced. If that happens to me today, which we're trying our best to prepare for, right? I don't know what 10 years look like. Back then, I could tell you an idea of what I felt like 10 years looked like. You don't know what 10 years looks like anymore. I don't know what 10 years look like anymore. You got to give yourself literally 1 month contracts, right? And you need to see like that year. You got to look at a year like almost a decade, in my opinion. If you're trying to keep up with technology, because things are moving so fluently, they're figuring out problems 24/7, 365. You see the updates. Right now it's cute. It's cute. Oh, chat sounds like me. Oh, I can customize voice. That is just a surface. That is just a surface. These are not the problems they're trying to solve. These are not what these billions of dollars are getting poured into to be your friend. They're not, right? They're not. What is happening is they are trying to point this thing again at every single operational problem we have. And great, because we have a lot. And look, I'm here to tell you, some of this stuff is going to be amazing. Part of this is going to be amazing. All right? I'm not against it. The problem is the people. I get what's going to happen from processes and things. The problem I have is the people. What do we do with people? People can't be rewired that fast. Not yet. Anyway, not yet. So I got to keep it real with the people, because if you are in a situation when they have taken you months and years and decades to finally get your first house, to finally start your first business, this is going to feel like you are in a time warp the next 5 years. So when I see people casually walking, casually, just acting as if nothing happened, that is by design. And normally most people won't say anything, right? Because it's not too big of an impact on the other end, right? It's more, it's your fault if you don't make it in life. This is not going to be a lot of people's fault, right? This is not going to be a lot. This is going to be a situation where you have to be able to adapt daily. Literally. Adapt daily. That's what we're moving into to survive, right? That's what we got to do. And Pursuit to Own, again, we're creating a real community. Like you said, you can look at, I haven't been, really hardcore recruiting, because what I do is I go out and take all the risks I can possibly take before I open it up to anyone else. But what I'm seeing now more than ever is purpose matter. If you're 90% skills, right? You better tap into that 10% purpose today, because that model is going to flip. It's no skill that's protected right now. None. My thought is, how do I take, this is what Pursuit to Own is working on daily right now. How do we still make owning a home a generational wealth creator for you in a future that has so many changes coming ahead, that have so many, variants that are variations of outcomes? Like, we don't know. I listened to Sam Altman and I just see how he's trying to frame it, right? He can't really tell you what's going to happen, right? None of them can tell you what's going to happen, because they have to slowly roll this out, get adoption, and once they have enough of it, right, then you'll see what they just did. Financial literacy for everybody. Why? Because it means nothing. Hot garbage. If you're talking about, I am balancing my checkbook, I am, keeping all my receipts, I am saving $5 a day, you're done. You're done. That's why they're giving it to you. That's why it's free. That's why you can't Google anything and it doesn't say financial literacy. It doesn't matter. That's why. It doesn't matter. Right now, it is all about acquiring assets and creating income. If you ain't doing that, you in trouble. And I'm sorry I got to be this way, but somebody got to do it, right? I've been in too many meetings. I've heard too many excuses, and then everyone's always telling me no one told them. Well, I am telling you. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you that I'm going through the same process that you should be going through. I'm going to reskill myself. My whole ecosystem at Pursuit to Own will be reskilled. The people we bring into Pursuit to Own will be reskilled. The people that we create homeowners are not just going to be homeowners. They're going to be in our community, right? And I ain't talking about we just get to the closing and leave you. Absolutely not. We are all about a community here, right? We're going to get you to the closing, and we have continuity. It's a lot more coming, right? Because we have to take a stand right now. We have to take a stand. If you got people that are thinking about these things, send them to this channel, right? We're building a community. Again, you're going to be amazed at what we're putting together, because this is going to take all of us. And this is the thing they tell me all the time. Chris, you're wasting time on people. But I'm telling you right now, to make it 5 years from now, you have to have your own tribe. You have to have your own community. You have to get back to hunting and gathering together. We have to. We have to. It is no other way around it. They cannot tell you at what point jobs would just be at mass loss. They can't tell you that. You know who's going to tell you? The CEOs, because they're just going to mass 1,000 people here, 10,000, 5,000. They're going to slow roll. So first you see 1,000 layoffs. You don't think nothing of it. That's a huge number, but you don't think nothing of it. Then it slowly trickles up to 5,000. Then you're going to start seeing 10,000. And you're going to get a million to like 100,000, right? These are people we're talking about with no way back into the work system. So you tell me what kind of feature that is. Now, on one part, it's going to be amazing for the people that are in front of this and going to benefit from it. Now, the question you need to ask, are you one of those people that's going to benefit from you, right? Because again, you're only valuable because you're doing something that can't be done. But if you know every day that goes by, something is working 24/7, 365 to replace you, what are you going to do? Until next time, stay in pursuit. Let's go. Thank you for listening to the Pursuit to Own podcast. If today's episode inspired you, don't stop here. Take the next step toward owning your future. Visit pursuittoown.com to sign up and join our growing community of wealth builders. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Pursuit to Own for updates, tips, and success stories. Together, we're turning dreams into assets. Until next time, stay in pursuit.